Listen, man. You said what you said earlier, gang.
You know what the fuck I do, you know what I'm saying? So you better stop playing. You personally, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, dude.
You, Memo, you.
Y'all recruit goofies got them playing with me. What the fuck wrong with y'all?
I told you that personally anyway.
You police? Police, gang. You police over here.
Alright. I'm talking to you though. You person, just you. Ain't no motherfucker else got nothing to do. I'm talking to you.
Don't kick me.
Hey, I talked to you. I talked to you earlier. I told you earlier. That's mine, dude.
That was. That was Duke he was talking. That was.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/hookah_anonymous. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines, but we'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our social. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at hookah_anonymous and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, if you didn't know by now, Chicago is a tricky place because these days you don't know who's a friend or a foe. Normally when you get into it with someone you were once cool with, it never get further than you guys arguing or maybe even having a fight with each other to settle your differences. However, Chicago is very, very different. Friend, family member, or whoever, it seemed like once a disagreement is had, it can go as far as two guys who were once cool with each other, now wanting to take each other's lives, treating each other as if they were never once cool. Now, it's one thing to fight, but it's another thing to take somebody.
Y'all don't know what's going on. Munna, Duke, and Memo supposedly, you know, had a I don't know what the falling out was. I know Duke was on the interview and he was asked about Memo, and I forgot what he said. Then Memo went on and, you know, said what he said about Duke. Said, you know, he seen Vine do something to Duke and Duke didn't do nothing about it. You know, there's a whole bunch of back and forth, you know. So, you know, now they been beefing ever since. So that's what's going on. You feel?
Somebody's life, or not care if a life is taken or because of a disagreement or a falling out. However, on the flip side of all that, then you have the part where guys are willingly backdooring each other with no remorse and glorifying the fact that they are snakes, slimes, and not someone to be trusted. This have spread not only amongst the older crowd, but the younger crowd as well. And I think it's worse amongst the younger crowd because they don't really understand what they're doing due to their age. But it's becoming a crazy trend, as well as guys who once were cool wanting to take each other's lives. That's what it seemed to be between Memo 600 and Munna Duke. This feud would breed another disagreement between two guys who have the same crew, ironically, Memo 600 and 600 Trigger. A lot of the times these guys have a distaste for each other, and they usually start over something internal, where if you're from the outside looking in, it is very hard to tell. But somehow, as much as these guys don't like each other, they still have the same associates and friends, which is kind of weird. Now in this case, we have Memo, who openly let it be known that he's not bothered by the unaliving of O Block's own Munna Duke. Although they were once friends, prior to Duke's passing, him and Memo didn't see eye to eye. So of course when he passed away, you kind of could have expected that Memo would have reacted the way he did, because they already established when he was alive that it was smoke whenever they caught each other. Now first, it started off when news first broke about Munna Duke's passing, and Memo would make cryptic posts to his IG story, where although he wasn't saying anything, you could kind of just read in between the lines. You feel? Y'all know when people start using third-party videos to send a message to someone without saying it, especially when they start using Bloodhound Little Jeff quotes? Well, that's what Memo did.
They didn't know, by now you know this belt lethal, so just do that with caution, like just making sure.
What do you mean, man? What do you mean, Memo? That's crazy. You posted that clip. Like, I know, like I said, I know him and Duke fell out, you know, because Duke said he can't come back to O Block, and I think he called him a goofy. And then, like I said, then Memo said that he seen Vine slap or knock Duke out and take his pistol, some shit like that. So so I don't know what led up to that even happened, but that's a crazy story, right?
You all in on down. Like, make sure you're ready for somebody to die before you get to coming with that weird. Cause this shit ain't no game, kid. We out.
I don't take advice from goofies. Keep it.
One of that gonna die. And y'all is gonna be riding like y'all always do. Cause that.
I ain't.
Goofy y'all be down out here. I don't know how you come talking to me. Oh, you stomp on his head. Crush. Real cap. Real baseball.
At the same time, bro, he
will start happening, and y'all know this by now. I went black for like a week, and poof. Where you at? Gotta go after that one. Poof. I came back. Poof. Long live the stuff.
And shortly after that, he would make another post that was a little more direct about how he felt.
Right.
So if you was confused or wondering, then he basically set the record straight. Memo would take to his IG story to say, quote, F out my DM talking about sorry for your loss. We ain't lost ish on Steve. Laughing emoji. Then he used Chief Keef's song Earned It, but so much words stating that Duke basically earned it. Now you have some people that understand why Memo did what he did, but then you have others that felt that not only was it too early, but felt the two were once cool with each other at one point in time. So Memo shouldn't be celebrating the man's demise.
Right.
I look at it like this. When someone into it with each other, you can't tell them how to feel or react. It just is.
That is facts. You can't tell nobody how to feel when y'all two people at odds. You can't tell them how to feel. Like I said, is it crazy what Memo doing? Yeah, cause like I said, that was your homie, and he ain't gone. Like it's crazy, You be like, that's people. Hey, like I said, you can't tell nobody how they feel, bro. Like I said, dude, you said something about me, I said something about you. Now F you now. That's how Memo was feeling. Memo said, I don't give you, like he said, F out my DMs. We ain't taking no those. Crazy. But you can't, like I said, you can't tell nobody how to feel, bro.
Is what it is. Now, like I said in the last video, the streets is gonna be the streets,
right? Streets is gonna be the streets. You live by the
gun, you die by it as well. It's hard to have remorse over some people that have inflicted the same pain that their families are now feeling on others. Boy. As unfortunate as that sound, on top of that, we have to remember that Memo and Munna Duke has had public disputes with each other on social media. So I don't expect anything less than Memo trolling, because if the shoe was on the other foot, Duke probably do the same. Doing the same thing. If y'all remember during the Cam Capone interview, Munna Duke would say that Memo can't step foot on his block, saying that he can't take Memo serious, and when he catch him, he gonna beat him up. Y'all check this out.
Memo, I see you and Memo kind of had some issues on the internet not too long ago.
What about him? What you said some issue?
From what it says right here, Memo tells Munna Duke he's putting belt to when he catches.
That's great.
He ain't never put a belt to no more for a day in his life. I don't really take people like that serious, man. You gotta know him, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker like me that been around, that I know every, and a motherfucker like him, I can't take serious. You know what I'm saying? He can't step a foot on my block. He will never step a foot on my block. Never.
Now, shortly after that, Memo would call his bluff, and that's when he would go and take pictures in front of King Von's mural, which is located in O Block, and also go to a store over there. He would record every second of it too, just to let it be known that he wasn't ducking no smoke. So knowing what Duke had to say about Memo, and them having a prior history before Duke passed away, I don't see why anyone is surprised that Memo trolled or don't care about Duke passing.
Yeah, I mean,
it was threats being put out there before he lost his life.
Like I said, you can't. I don't see why people are surprised about it either. Like I said, these like this is what they do, bro. Like I said, Memo can feel how he want to feel. Like I said, it's crazy. Like I said, RP to Duke, man. It's crazy. RP to Munna Duke, man. Like it's just like I said, y'all once was cool, then y'all had whatever. Like I said, y'all back and forth. Now, like I said, it's fuck each other now. F each other. You feel me? Like I said, when he sees he gonna put belt to ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's that serious, bro. Like,
so when he actually did, what made people think that anything would be any different?
Everybody don't feel the same.
Now, aside from that, Memo may have not been too fond of Duke, But that don't mean that the guys with the
600
themselves all feel the same like Memo.
Yep.
Another 600 member by the name of M-Thing will post a picture of
Trigger.
Duke and Youngin, remembering them and paying his respects, clearly indicating that he don't feel the same as Memo, despite Memo saying that nobody on his side took a loss. Now, another 600 member known as 600 Trigger will also denounce what Memo said in his IG story. Trigger would take to his story, post a picture of Munna Duke, and caption it saying, quote, "On D-Thing, I appreciate my condolences. This is an over 10-year N-word for me. We took a big loss. I don't know what Duke talking about." So Memo saying that they didn't take a loss, and Trigger would intervene.
And you see how everybody else in the other 600 dudes feel. They's like, nah, bro, that's, cause that's broke. He said it's 10 plus right here. You feel me? What they phrase was OB 600? Like
saying, yes, we did in fact take a big loss. Now, as small as that may seem, it's little things like that can lead to bigger problems.
Right.
Some people may feel a way due to them being more closer to Duke. And to be honest with you, everybody have different relationships with different people.
Right.
Even if Memo knew Munna Duke and they was cool, maybe Trigger has a different relationship with Munna than Memo did, so it made it even easier for Memo actually to not care. But at the end of the day, it's already evident that although Memo is 600, he haven't got along with a lot of the guys.
That is
Memo
true too.
had been public enemy #1 for a long time.
Ever since
If y'all
Vaughn
remember,
died.
it was rumors before that he himself couldn't go back to 600 territory. Now, whether it's his ops or even his own guys, it seemed like Memo is always into it with somebody, but at the end of the day, he's staying on his own, so it is what it is. Now, after it came out that Trigger posted about Duke being a big loss, despite what Memo said, Memo would send another cryptic message out there, as he would say, quote,
What'd he say?
"If it tuck its tail, it's a mutt. On Steve. Don't let that go over your head." So many words he's saying that someone tucking their tail and scared. And he didn't say no names, but it's kind of clear as day who he talking about or what situation he's referring to. Now, on another note, as y'all know, Munna Duke and Youngin was shot and unalive as they were celebrating the birthday of Old Block Gleesh. Some say that Duke was moving loose, and that's how they were able to get caught the way they did. And on Old Block Youngin's last story post, he posted a big bottle of Don Julio, and that makes me wonder if the alcohol may have played a part. Here's why. Do y'all remember in that live where Zoo was on live with Memo, and he asked Memo what he was going to do for the night, and Memo mentioned getting lit and drunk with Munna Duke? I think he was being funny, but y'all check this out.
What you on?
This was recently?
Cool. How you coming? Dry as hell, trying to see what I'm gonna do. High as hell. I ain't gonna go to the stool. Oh. I need to get mine. Now I'm gonna call for them. You know they somewhere lit. All right, smack the line.
That right there told
What
me
are you talking about
maybe
them,
that's
though?
something that Duke and them like to do, that maybe that could have been his downfall the night he was on the live. Liquor will have you out and about, moving loosely, and how you normally wouldn't, or because you're in a state of intoxication. Now, I don't know if that did play a part. I don't know if that was the reason behind anything, but I really can't fathom Duke being caught so loosely the way he was, and knowing that he survived the drill culture for a very long time. Just kind of don't make sense.
It don't make sense, but like I said, that's why I don't drink, bro. I like this economics saying, bro, you see people out there, they just be just like, why do you want to feel like that, especially out in public? Like, I'm gonna drink on something, but I ain't gonna get fucked up. You feel me? The time I did, bro, I went back home. I was like, nah, bro, take me home. I'm like, I'm cool. I can't be out here in public like this. It just wasn't cool, bro. But like I said, it just, like you said, Memo, like I said, the other 600 don't feel that way. You know, M-Thing and all them wrestling and Trigger don't feel the same way. You know, everybody got different relationships within, you know, y'all circle. You know, that's why it's like I said, it's weird. You know, everybody, and if y'all are the same thing, damn near, everybody got their crowd that they hang with. That's just how it is in the, you know, the streets, bro. Everybody had their circle, you know, who they go do stuff with, you feel me? Go do hits with, they had their circle, or who they kicked it with. But, you know, Duke and Memo probably was cool, but, you know, they went like, boom. They probably was really cool because of Vaughn. Vaughn was that, you know, that leash, you know, that tie between them two. But, you know, like I said, the other 600s don't feel that way, though. You know, they said that is a loss, you know, because y'all know how old Blocker 600 is. They was OB 600. You feel me?
sense, man. And this is why a lot of the backdoor rumors are starting to float around.
That's crazy.
FYBJ man, who we're going to cover later on, did mention that there may have been some type of backdoor activity. We're going to get into that later. But other than that, y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Man, like I said, hey, it's crazy. Like I said, is Memo wrong for doing it? I mean, yeah, but I mean, you can't, like I said, you can't tell nobody how to feel, bro, about something. Especially if they ain't cool with a motherfucker no more. Like, so I'm probably, like I said, maybe, I don't know, Duke probably would have did the same thing. Who knows? We don't know. But it's just crazy, bro. Like I said, it just, like I say, once homies, now y'all fold. Now you get, he mocking your death, damn near. But, you know, shout out to Hookah Anonymous for the video, man. Y'all hit that like, subscribe button for me. And I appreciate it, man. See y'all in the next one.